Hello everybody, I'm Stewart Heath, CEO and founder of Harvard Grace Capital, back with episode number 4 of questions you should be asking your passive activity sponsor. We do have an ebook that you'll be able to get. It's got all 100 questions in there with a little bit of analysis on each, and so I encourage you to register for that. But so this video just give you a little bit of a taste and a flavor of a lot of the what's behind these questions. So we've talked about questions to the sponsor so far, and this is our last episode on questions for the sponsor, and the next we'll talk about the questions about the investment itself, and then later a section on the finance of the investment. So our first question for today is for the sponsors: what's the largest capital raise you've completed? Now frankly, it's a common question. I get asked that a lot. I don't know what it has to do with anything, frankly, whether they've only done $2 or $3 million raises, or if they've ever raised $50 million. The question is, depends on the size deal that they typically pursue. We ourselves really pursue smaller deals in smaller markets at really great prices, and so we tend to go after investments that big guys don't go after, to try to keep the competition away. But it's a question. It's good information to have. Gives you a little bit of background information. I would much rather know how long have they been raising capital and what their deal history has been. This is a really good question. How do you juggle new acquisitions while managing your current investments? It's a great question. This really goes to what's the size of your team, what's the makeup of the team, how do you divide up? Because the bigger shops will have a whole division that all they do is buy stuff and execute on new purchases, and then once they acquire it, those guys never think about that deal again, and it goes over to the operating team, and then they become experts in the deal. There's pros and cons to big shops and small shops, but most of us are what I would call medium shops, and everybody's sort of involved in everything. But it's a really good question. How do you do it? To me, a follow-up question is, what you're trying to get at here is, are you a transaction-driven firm? Are you doing deals because you need the fee revenue, or are you doing deals because you personally think they're great deals? So that's kind of what is behind that main question. I like this question as well. How do you measure investor satisfaction beyond returns? We do not formally measure investor satisfaction. We talk to our investors a great deal through phone calls and emails, but it is something that as we get a little bigger that we want to pursue. You can ask about the software that they use for deal portals and the data security around that, which is important. That's everywhere. And this is the last question for this week, and probably one of the most important. How do you determine when to walk away from a deal? We do a video series weekly about deals we didn't do. We underwrite a lot of deals. We walk away from most of them. Sometimes we go a few extra steps, and sometimes we even get them under contract and then back out of it. It's an excellent question, and if you can't get a clear answer to that question, then you should really delve deep into what is their investment thesis, because that's really what you're asking. What's your investment thesis? And once you get invested so far in a transaction and then discover that the deal doesn't meet your thesis, do you could go forward anyway? So I hope that these 4 episodes are giving you a good idea of the questions you should be asking people like me as you look at the world of passive investing. I hope this helps. be happy to communicate with anybody. Come back next time when we start talking about and specific questions you need to ask about any deal that you're looking at. Thanks.